Greetings, Cyclopeans. Welcome to podcast 16, and my name is Dan.
And I'm Tom.
And we are going to cover all kinds of exciting sci-fi, fantasy, and horror topics for you today, starting with comic books.
Surprise, surprise. I again got two from Marvel, two from DC. Start things off in the Marvel branch with the Mighty Thor number 15.
I would love that cover, by the way. I'm
know.
jumping in already.
The cover is like something out of like a 60s like acid trippy
It's
poster.
Awesome.
It's got the Rainbow Bridge and Thor and all the aliens.
Thing. I'm serious. I would like a poster of that.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Over on the wall here at the Sci-Clops, because we're in the penthouse tower right now.
Yes.
The Sci-Clops tower.
Looking down on all of you.
We'll have a link. We'll have a link to this, by the way, at the bottom of the podcast. So be sure to click on it. Take a look at this cover. It's wicked cool. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off so quick.
It's a fantastic cover.
I didn't see that. I looked over and saw the cover. I was like, whoa. Okay.
But it's the start of a new storyline in the Thor, the current Mighty Thor book. Cool. And Mighty Thor has, ever since the Jane Foster Thor came around, has been one of my favorite Marvel comics they've been doing. They've been kind of building towards the gradual reintroduction. You know, it's been this kind of drum roll of the original Thor coming back into the main storyline here. And that's him right there on the cover.
Yep, with the short hair now.
With the short hair and the beard, yeah. And he cut his hair to look like that in the Unworthy Thor 3, so I'm like, oh man, he's coming in. And it was a good issue. It does build some new interesting plot points, but I was kind of let down because he's not in it at all.
Whoa.
He's on the cover, but he's not even referenced in this thing. Yeah.
No, shut the door.
I have a feeling that this storyline is going to introduce him back.
Why would you not put Thor in the Mighty Thor?
Well, I mean, she's right there, but they have him on the cover. It's not like they've been teasing, oh, we're going to bring Thor, he's called the Odin Son now.
I know,
but it feels like such a tease to have him right there smack on the cover.
Kind of like...
I mean, I'm just going to read it anyway, I like Thor, but it really feels like that was kind of a letdown.
Yeah.
But basically, the Shi'ar Empire, which is one of those, they're aliens, they're out there in the cosmos.
Okay.
For some reason, they just show up at Asgard and decide that they're going to take over. And so the Asgardians and the Shi'ar fight back and forth, and Thor gets involved in this whole thing. And it's fun, at least to some cool battles, but it really just feels like it came out of nowhere. It's like the Shi'ar just decide to pop up one day and, hey, let's conquer Asgard, because, okay. But it was still good, and I'm
just
hoping...
Just like a certain federate or a certain group decided to pop up on a planet called Naboo and blockade them, but nobody's really sure why.
Hey, that was Star Wars. It was a mess. No, that would suck. But I hope this eventually leads to the reintroduction of the Odin Son into the storyline.
Cool.
But it's not it's not like I want to see him take over again and kick Jane out. I've enjoyed what they've done with her as a character as Thor. But we'll see where they go with that.
But I'm with you on that. I mean, they've got her. Okay, cool. But then they've got him on there too.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of like clickbate,
It's exactly what it is. It's a comic clickbait.
Comic clickbait. But that cover still is
cover's
beautiful.
Fantastic. And
really, where are we in relation to because we've been covering a lot of the Unworthy Thor, and now
the Unworthy Thor. The Mighty Thor is the main Thor. The Unworthy Thor is just a 5-issue miniseries they're doing about the Odin Son.
Okay, I was
and he's been MIA ever since Secret Wars happened.
Okay, I just wanted to double check that. I couldn't remember where we were.
And my second Marvel one is Inhumans vs. XMen issue number 2. And I have a variant cover on this one, which is done by Cho. What's his first name? Michael Cho, who's done some fantastic variant covers in the Fed. It's really cool because his variant covers look like old-timey fighting boxing posters a lot of the time. Like he did the Civil War II variants. I have every issue as his variant.
And we go the exact opposite here. We went from the Mighty Thor, which was a gorgeous 60s style, 70s style, super detailed cover to this minimalist here.
Yeah, it's very
1, 2,
black, white, and red.
Colors.
That's it.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic, and it's Black Bolt on the cover there.
Yeah.
And so this has been brewing for a while. Inhumans and the X-Men can't coexist. The Turigian Mist, which gives the Inhumans their powers, is killing mutants. And the Inhumans and the mutants have been kind of working hand in hand to try to figure out a way to cure the mutants of the affliction while leaving the Turigian Mist intact. But it's been kind of building tension-wise. Okay, even Beast admits he doesn't think there's any way to make the Turigian Mist non-lethal to mutants.
Okay.
And basically, the rest of the mutant community decides, all right, it's us or them, and they basically declare war on the Inhumans. And the first 2 issues, the 0-issue prequel and issue 1, were kind of about everybody shifting into place, getting ready. And this issue, it kicks right out of the gate. It's full-on war. Every mutant group, even villains, are working together to help fight the Inhumans. And it's right now, they're kicking the crap out of them. It's because it was a surprise attack. The X-Men and all these other mutants just show up out of nowhere and just basically lead a beatdown on the Inhuman capital. And I doubt that they're going to remain in that advantageous stage for the remaining 4 issues. But it's kind of nice with all the attention the Inhumans have been getting on TV and the potential movie that was going to happen.
Everything's Inhumans right now.
And they're everywhere in the comics right now. Everything in Marvel, in almost some way, shape, or form, has been touched by Inhumans. So it's kind of nice as a longtime X-Men fan to watch the X-Men really just get to lay a smackdown on them for a while. But like I said, I doubt that
they'll be back.
Yeah, the Inhumans aren't going to just roll over and die. But it's good. Crossovers are always kind of risky because it either tends to go directions you really don't want to see, or one side tends to just kind of skew more with you than the other, and you don't really feel anything for the other side. But this one does a great job of balancing the fact that neither side wants this to happen, but unfortunately, the way things are going, it looks like it's unavoidable. So I've really enjoyed it. We got 4 issues left to go, and I am very excited.
Cool, man.
And now we switch to the other side of the fence, DC. I have 2 Justice League versus somebody issues this week. Justice League versus Suicide Squad number 4 is first up on deck. And it's gone very interesting with the plot. Now we're seeing that the real threat they're going to have to face is not actually going to be the Justice League fighting the Suicide Squad so much as it is the Justice League fighting the original Suicide Squad. Waller first made this group of individuals, and she hadn't thought of the brain bomb thing yet. She just basically promised them whatever they want. And when the mission went totally awful, she just locked them away somewhere in case she ever needed them again. And it's a really big lineup of villains here. And it's headlined headlined in terms of like the most powerful out of all of them so far is Lobo. And the whole mess with Lobo, once they restarted his comic in DC, revealed there's really 2 of them, and one of them is just an imposter from an alternate universe. Okay. And they're like, why? But this is that original Lobo back into the DC fold again, because the new Lobo comic kind of tanked. But so it gives the original Suicide Squad character, that lineup there, a really powerhouse character who can tangle Superman and Wonder Woman and not just get mowed over like a piece of grass.
Right.
And so it's the Suicide Squad the current Suicide Squad having to work with the Justice League to fight these guys because they're so unstably, after being locked away in prison for years and just abandoned, they're so out for revenge and bloodthirsty that they just want Waller dead. So it's an interesting dynamic, and it really does live up to the Justice League versus Suicide Squad name in a sense, because it is still a version of the Suicide Squad that they're fighting. But at least there's some fun moments where the villains that have basically been trying to murder all the heroes have to team up with them. And 2 issues to go, and it is weekly, so we'll be knocking this one out in 2 more weeks. It'll be wrapped up, and we'll see where they go with it from there. And the second Justice League versus somebody issue this week is by far my favorite.
Here we go.
Justice League versus Power Rangers.
Versus Power Rangers. That's
sort of.
Team up
it's
together.
Justice League / Power Rangers versus Power Rangers. It's a whole thing. But and there's 6 different variant covers because there's 6 different Power Rangers.
Look at the muscles on Superman.
Yeah,
too. Like,
the one I went with is because Superman is my favorite DC character and the Green Ranger is my favorite Power Ranger. Awesome. So they put them both on the same cover, so I had to get that one.
You got it.
I think there's like Wonder Woman and the Pink Ranger and the Blue Ranger and Flash maybe or something. But I saw this one and I went right for it.
This is the silliest thing.
And the way they set it up actually is kind of plausible. It starts off in the Power Rangers side of things, and Lord Zed, the villain, attacks the Power Rangers base, and he leaves a bomb at the base. And one of the Power Rangers' teleporter thingies gets damaged, and he says he's going to teleport the bomb away. And they warn him, and the Alpha warns him, "Don't teleport. The thing's damaged. We have no idea where it'll send you." And he teleports anyway because the bomb's about to go off. Now
he's been hanging out with the Flash, doing whatever he wants,
and he teleports into an alternate universe. Which is
that sounds familiar.
DC.
Okay.
So he shows up. Bomb goes off, but no one gets hurt. And, Batman, because he's in Gotham, shows up and is like, "Who are you, and what are you doing with a bomb in my city?" And it leads to this fight between the 2 of them because... And the rest of the Rangers show up to help the other one. And It's always because they just never stop and talk. It's always like, hey, I don't know who
Haven't
you are.
Haven't you said this before, too?
Yeah.
It's two groups of good guys. Everybody's on the same side, but just like you said...
Nobody takes time to sit down and talk.
Nobody sits down, and nobody... It's always, the hell with you. Everybody just jumps at each other.
Yeah, and that's exactly how this starts. And it's fun, because it's the most ridiculous... Like, the Power Rangers versus the Justice League? Yeah. What? And it's just... This leads to this whole ridiculous thing. And this is another 6-issue miniseries, but I'm fairly certain this one is going to be monthly and not weekly, like Justice League versus Suicide Squad.
Okay.
Because...
Don't they tell you in advance?
I haven't really looked into this one, but I think this one, because it's a joint company thing, Boom and DC are working together, I don't think they're going to be able to do it with the speed that you're going to, like, DC in-house can just do Justice League versus Suicide Squad, crank it out like nothing. But overall, this is a fun week for comics. I got two really ridiculous team-ups. You know, Mighty Thor was a little bit of a letdown with the tease of Odin's son in there and no delivery, but still a good issue that's going to set up future storylines. And so comics this week was a pretty solid outing.
Awesome. And I know this is very exciting for you because, of course, it's Power Rangers, which is like...
my favorite.
Your favorite right before that awesome movie comes out.
I have an interesting... I'm going to get my Power Rangers rant out of the way early this week.
Oh, here it comes.
I have made it no secret how I feel about the new Power Rangers movie.
The last 20 podcasts. Even the podcast before
haven't
the
come
podcast.
out yet. I think, as a longtime Rangers fan, this movie does not appeal to me, really, in the slightest.
Is it still getting worse for you?
It's everything I see is just like... I get what they're doing. They want to take it and they want to make it more relevant to today's youth. Yeah. Like kids 10 years younger than I am, you know? And I get that in a sense. And I
don't see why you'd want to do that.
Well, it's because, think about it. The original Power Rangers show was like 93, 94.
Yeah, but you're going back to the
teenagers then weren't even born yet. Or they were like 2. But they didn't watch Power Rangers back then.
But this is where I agree with you. And I'm jumping in here because if you go to the cons, everybody who's into Power Rangers is into 93 Power Rangers. They don't want to see 2017 Power Rangers, which is because that's what they grew up with.
Exactly.
You don't have to change it.
I'm trying to get less bitter about this.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly, yeah. Because it will be Power Rangers for a whole new generation of kids. It'll be their thing.
So, maybe it'll be a hit.
Yeah,
and it'll be good for you.
Yeah, anything that, Power Rangers as a whole, I enjoy. Right. So I think, hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully it's just the aesthetics, and the movie itself turns out to be fantastic.
Yeah. And to listeners, we want it to be a hit.
I don't want it to fail.
It'll continue.
I would actually like it to
just not
boost
the way
franchise.
You want it.
Oh, no.
And you're an angry nerd.
But so this is my funny story about it for the week.
Okay.
I was at Target, and they had all the new Power Rangers movie toys out because it's only like 2-3 months away at this point. And I took a picture and I put it on Instagram and I said, these are not Power Rangers toys. Right. And I was just angrily nerd venting. And I expected to get a couple funny likes and all that. And I will not name drop because I don't want to get this person, any undue publicity. But an original cast member of Power Rangers liked the photo.
Oh, no.
So it looks like even some of the original Rangers are not thrilled with this movie.
That's awesome.
And I don't
that's not a good sign.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I laughed so hard.
And you heard it here first. That's a big scoop. That's a big deal.
And it's funny because on social media, by and large, cast members, not just the original series, but any of the past Power Ranger seasons, have been fairly receptive of the new movie.
Which they have to be.
Which, you don't want to, it's biting the hands that feeds you. You know, they got a nice career out of that. So,
and
a lot of the original
could
Rangers.
continue, even though.
And so I just found it, like I said, I'm not going to name drop because I don't want to get the dude any undue. I was very surprised, and I laughed, and I got a fun little chuckle out of that.
That is funny.
But, like I said, I really hope it doesn't suck. I would love to be proven wrong here and have a good movie come out of this.
With a little luck, even if it's bad, it might, they might keep going with it. I mean, remember, Star Trek, when that went to movie, that first one left everybody with huh? Yeah. I went to that. And I remember coming out,
way better.
There was no action in that movie. It was like, what did I just see? And it was a big deal because this is like the late 70s, early 80s, and you got a bald woman, in which everybody had hair back then. And so for a woman to be bald was like, what? and it was just this story. It wasn't action. It wasn't adventure. It was just this thing they encounter and the V'ger thing and all that. But it was I guess was a real letdown for a lot of people, including me. And of course, then they ramped it up with number 2.
Yeah, I've never even sat through the entire original Star Trek movie. I can't do it.
It's just a quiet little story.
Yeah,
nothing really major.
So that's there. My Power Rangers rant is out of the way early this week, and I thought that would be a fun little story for you guys.
So I was just trying to get you ready in case Power Rangers bombs, and we got to look for number 2. But hopefully it'll be good.
Well, no, I think
we want to do good.
They've been saying that they want to do more than one of these, so I think it'll just depend.
Buzz on social media. Social media is pretty hot on this right. Mostly Zordon. Mostly Zordon. I see Zordon all the time.
Well, it's Bryan Cranston who's going to be doing Zordon, and well, I don't know how many people know this because I, being a giant Power Rangers nerd that I am. Bryan Cranston actually in his mid-20s was on Power Rangers. He voiced several of the villains and other minor characters like that.
I remember you talking about that.
And so he actually does have a history with the franchise. And he actually did an interview recently about why he decided to go back and revisit it after all this time. So, but yeah, there we go. Power Rangers out of the way.
Okay, that's done. So the movie, we inch closer to the movie, and that day when Tom comes storming into your...
And this was wrong, and that didn't look right, and I
can't live with this another minute. Okay, what do we got next?
Well, I might as well jump into the video game stuff, because, Nintendo has just been drowning people in news with the Switch reveal. I was already excited, and then they started revealing the titles that they were going to be coming out with, and it's just been like the craziest couple days ever since this thing has come out.
So much news coming on Switch, I didn't even know where to start. I just said, I'm just going to...
It's just everywhere.
On the site, I just kind of said, okay, we got the Switch, and here's like the roundup, and I put a few links up, and I was like, I just don't know how to cover 500 different games at the same time. Maybe hopefully we'll be big enough down the road to do something like that. But there's so much. It's like a title.
So much. It's a title. That's what. Yeah,
I didn't know it was going to be that many games.
They had a stumbling block. The thing is, the two most recent consoles, the Wii and the Wii U, have been kind of out of the gate. They didn't sell very well. Mm-hmm. They sold like okay, but nothing.
I thought the Wii did really good.
It did good, but it didn't do like gangbusters.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And the problem they've had is Nintendo was fantastic with first-party games.
Okay.
Zelda, Mario, Mario Party, Mario Kart, all their stuff that's Nintendo in-house was fantastic. But the problem was they were really lacking third-party games. So stuff like Call of Duty or, Grand Theft Auto or other big name games that weren't Nintendo properties. They would get ported to the Wii or the Wii U, but it would be like years later and they wouldn't look as good graphically. Mm. So Nintendo looks like this time around, they kind of realized, all right, we got to have really strong first-party support like we always do, but we need to make a console that's got at least enough graphical power behind it to run high-end third-party games. So that's
3D too, right?
Switch. I don't know if it's going to be doing 3D, but...
What if I got Mario 3D... something trailer up right now.
Oh, the Mario Odyssey.
Odyssey.
Yes.
Yeah, Mario Odyssey.
I'm going to go through it. And so
I find it hard to keep track of all the Mario.
The first big games they announced are obviously their first-party games.
Yep.
The big one is that Zelda Breath of the Wild, which has been gestating for years.
And we do have that trailer up right now.
Zelda Breath of the Wild will be a launch title for the Switch. So day one, Zelda Breath of the Wild is going to be out. That is huge. Yeah. I've been waiting for that game for years.
So big and so fun.
And they also revealed Mario Odyssey, which is in the vein of kind of Mario 64 from all the way back in the N64. And I think that looks fantastic.
By the way, that Mario Odyssey, I was watching that trailer, and it's cool because he runs through... It starts out with the first scene in that trailer. And do take a look at it. It's right. We'll have links to it and everything. It's so real looking in the beginning. It looks like an actual city. And then they kind of have him go through all these different scenarios from old games and new. It looks like he's going through all these different versions. And it's wicked cool. I like, this is neat the way he just goes from background to background.
And they've unveiled, more stuff they unveiled was they're doing Splatoon 2. Splatoon is one of their new IPs.
I remember, I was reading about that.
Splatoon 2, I think, might actually be a launch title for the Switch, which would be kind of cool.
I think it is.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is going to come out, and I think that's fantastic, because Xenoblade Chronicles is one of the Wii's best games. Graphically and gameplay, storyline-wise, is fantastic. So to see it get a sequel is going to be very cool.
Yep.
There's a new IP that they're coming out with called ARMS, which is this wacky-looking fighting game with, giant, stretchy arm guys boxing each other.
Oh, cool.
And they said they wanted it to be kind of a Splatoon for the fighting game genre.
That's cool.
And just everything I've seen about the Switch and its games has been really reassuring, because the one thing Nintendo always did better than everybody, I don't care what studio you're talking about, Nintendo always made games that were just pure, flat-out fun.
Yeah.
You don't need the gritty, dark drama, like Grand Theft Auto, Sleeping Dogs, or Mafia.
Yep.
Sometimes you just want to play something like ARMS, which is a giant, stretchy boxing fight, and just have fun with your friends for a couple hours and just relax. And no one tops Nintendo with that. Nobody. So everything I've seen from first-party stuff has been fantastically reassuring. A lot of the third-party stuff they've announced has been really reassuring. They're coming out with Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, which I'm a fan of. I actually already own it. But it will be on the Switch. And that's a pretty decently big rendering size in terms of the field and all the characters on it and all the stuff going on. That's pretty powerful.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the Wii U could have run that at the same level as a PS4 or an Xbox, but it looks like the Switch will be able to handle it. And so a lot of this is very, very reassuring, because I will be a Nintendo fan till the day I die, and I want to see Nintendo succeed and do as well as Sony and Microsoft, and it really looks like this is going to be their console.
I was reading this morning that there was a big article on how to get down in New York City for some of the
January 13th law. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, I think tomorrow I'm actually going to go pre-order my my Switch.
Would you even try to go if you were in New York and try to get there and get no way, man. New York itself is going to
be annoying, but that thing is going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, it's going to be hot.
And we're actually only February or 2 months out from the Switch. And
what's the date again?
March 17th, maybe.
St. Patrick's Day?
I don't know, maybe.
I don't know, something like that.
It's mid-March.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, I think, really cool when that finally drops.
Should be really hot, really hot. So that's exciting. It's great to see, because if they pull this thing off, they'll put in a lot more games, a lot more 3D, a lot more stuff.
They had that list of developers they had who have already agreed to partner with them for the Switch, and it's
very
all
cool.
The big names, Capcom.
Hey, more games the better.
Yeah, I'll take it. But that's all I got really for video game wise this week.
We've got, just a side note, we got somebody here playing Battlefield 1 right now, and it is really cool. The graphics are...
Oh, yeah, I have that too.
You got it too. That's
I have it too, yeah.
Boy,
he's got it on PC, though.
Really good on that.
But, yeah.
So I just want to put that, if you haven't played Battlefield and you do like those kind of games, especially the history of the World War I, this is a really nice game, really good looking, and just, it's got a huge community.
Stab people with bayonets.
Stab people with bayonets and ride horses and stuff. So
ride horses, slicing people's head off with swords.
Slices people. How did I can't even say that fast. Okay, what do we got next?
Well, I got a bunch of movie news.
Good.
So we'll start off with Star Wars. Star Wars is the best thing ever. One, obviously, with the passing of Carrie Fisher, there was a lot of concern over how, if at all, they were going to have Leia featured in Episode 9.
Like CGI,
because she has, she did complete her Episode 8 scenes,
right.
But she hadn't begun work on, no one begun work on Episode 9 yet, because Episode 8 just wrapped filming.
Right. Nobody thought she was going to drop dead.
But they've, Lucasfilm and Disney have officially come out and said they're not going to digitally recreate Carrie Fisher for Episode 9. So,
yeah, that's the latest I've seen. They were meeting on it, and
they were kind of deciding, which is good.
I think they were floating trial balloons on that one too.
With Rogue One, because the Rogue One was very divisive in terms of recreating Grand Moff Tarkin digitally. Yeah. Some fans, I thought it was cool.
Even and her too.
Yeah, I thought it was cool to see because Tarkin really would, not as a huge player, but Tarkin really would have had to have been in Rogue One.
Yeah,
because
he had to be.
And I understand certainly how it's not. Some people think it's just not cool to do that and bring people who've passed on back digitally. I thought it was a nice nod to Tarkin and what role he was going to play in A New Hope. But I like I said, I totally get it that some people just thought it wasn't cool. So I think, if they tried to pull that with Carrie Fisher in Episode 9, I think they would have had a really big fan backlash.
And on top of that, the technology is excellent, but it's not perfect. Yeah,
Tarkin was just a little off,
just a tiny bit, and we're not just being critical or anything like that. But you could really look, you could see a little bit there, but it's still, it is odd. I remember seeing wow, that's Peter Cushing, and he's doing all these things that he never did, and how the heck did they do that? So it is a little odd.
Yeah. And the other bit of Star Wars news is Woody Harrelson is going to be in the Han Solo spin-off movie. And that's interesting because they haven't really said who he's going to be playing yet.
They're speculating on some sites who it might be.
Probably if I had to take a stab at it, probably like a mentor-y figure for Solo
or
kind
some
of
kind of like he's going to be, he'll be rough around the edges. Everybody in the Han Solo universe will be probably a bunch of rogues and thieves.
Secretly, you find out Han Solo was raised in the richest Carillion communities and upper.
Not his dad though. It won't be his dad, but it'll be something. But I hate to get into those rumors too early. If you see something, let us know.
Well, the funny thing is, do you remember the original Episode 5 ending, Empire Strikes Back?
Yep.
Han Solo wasn't going to be caught in Carbonite. He was going to leave to find his stepfather to help convince him to fight with the rebellion.
Right.
So maybe this is a callback to the way forever ago, and Woody Harrelson's playing his stepdad. It was never used, and it wasn't officially canon because it wasn't used. I don't even know if they filmed the scenes for it or anything. But it would be kind of a funny callback if it turned out Woody Harrelson was his stepfather.
I think it's interesting that Harrelson's going to be in there. I think more interesting is who else is going to be in there. Will we see the Hutts? Will we see Boba Fett? Will we see...
Boba Fett, possibly. I'm betting the Hutts will be in there.
They know Boba Fett.
Yeah.
He's clearly run into Boba Fett before. Because when he's fighting,
you wouldn't even have to have him be like the villain or anything. He could just pass him somewhere. But the Hutts would probably be a safe bet.
The Hutts would be a safe bet. Who else? Anybody you can think of?
For Solo? Well, it's interesting because...
Chewie, and maybe a little Chewie background.
The interesting thing is, with the Marvel Star Wars comic that's been out now, which is officially now canon, a lot of characters from Han's past have been surfacing, who are officially now canon characters because they're in there. So I wonder if they'd want to draw maybe some of those characters out and throw them at Han. And it'd be interesting because there's a character I would actually really like to see in this movie, Black Krrsantan, who's basically a Wookiee bounty hunter. And he's got missing one eye, and they kind of hint that it's from a fight with Chewbacca.
Awesome.
And so there's a history there. So I'd actually kind of like to see Chewie get some fun little actually backstory.
We'd like to see Chewie get some more beatdown time, He's so big.
That rampage scene right after Han dies where he's just mowing stormtroopers down?
Good shot.
Yeah.
He almost takes out Kylo Ren. Almost. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, what do we got?
What else we got movie-wise? Oh, Deadpool 2.
Deadpool 2.
A couple things Deadpool news. Deadpool 2 is going to be featuring several returning characters, actually. We're going to be getting Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead are going to be back.
Okay.
And they're introducing Cable, which we all knew about. But the interesting thing is, I don't think this has been talked about a lot, Domino was also going to be being introduced.
I didn't know about that. No.
And Domino, for those who don't know, is also she's a mutant character. Basically, her power is she's ridiculously lucky. Cool. So if
she's
someone that's her power.
Oh my god!
There's a great instance of it where a guy sneaks up on her, goes to shoot her in the back of the head, and his gun jams.
That's awesome.
And so it's stuff like that. And she and Cable have frequently worked together on X-Force.
Cool.
So it makes sense to bring her in as well. And they've also said that Cable, you need a freaking flowchart to follow Cable's origin because it's one of the most ridiculous, convoluted things ever. He's Jean Grey and Sci-Clops' kid, but they didn't actually conceive him normally. He was just taken from their DNA and put together in a blender, and it's this whole confusing thing. So the writers of Deadpool 2 have said they're working on a way to make his origins a lot more palatable to mainstream audiences.
Correctly, they're going to kind of just gloss over it.
I would assume that they'll maybe hint at it vaguely and just kind of...
Yeah, this morning or last night I read somewhere they said the Cable's so complicated they said we're just not going to bother with this. We're just going to put him in
his origins are... And there's two Cables because there's Cable from an alternate universe, X-Men...
It's smart because the audience doesn't want to sit through.
Yeah, you don't want to sit through backstory like that.
Did you see Reynolds doing the his own promo for the award?
Yes,
that's awesome.
I love
the movie and everything. That was great.
So
we got that up too. You'll see the little movie that he put up trying to get himself an award. I think that's hysterical, and it's totally like him to do something.
Oh yeah,
great.
Also on the Marvel side of things, Peter Dinklage.
Yep.
Game of Thrones has been pretty much, I think, confirmed for Avengers Infinity War. There's still no word on what character he's going to be playing, though. But he is slated to make an appearance. I don't know if it's going to be for an Infinity War, just Infinity War, or Infinity War in the sequel. But he's going to be in there. And it's just Marvel keeps, raking in big-name actors.
Yeah. Dinklage is pretty darn big, too.
Game of Thrones. It's funny because he hit Game of Thrones and then he just exploded in popularity.
He's a great actor.
And he's actually no stranger to Marvel movies. He was in X-Men Days of Future Past. He played Bolivar Trask.
Couldn't we figure out pretty quick who he's going to be? I mean, he's only,
Well, not really. Bolivar Trask in the comics is just a regular dude. He's not
all right.
a little person.
I thought it was going to be pretty obvious who Dinklage was, pardon my screw up there on the name, who he was going to be. And I think, okay, but I guess we're just going to wait it out and see.
See, yeah. And on the other side of the fence, a couple DC movie news. Ben Affleck finally has, after all the hemming and hawing, and maybe I will, maybe I won't, he is going to direct the Batman solo movie when it finally does happen, whenever that is. Which is good, because it's funny, because the movies he's starred in that he's also directed have been fantastic.
Yeah.
Argo, The Town. I think he also just did Live by Night. I haven't seen that one yet. But it seems like he's actually able to put together a really good movie when he directs and even when he's starring in it.
And you were pretty happy with Batman vs.
Batfleck was fine.
It was fine.
Everyone was like freaking out, and he's not. Daredevil.
It still sold pretty well.
It did great, 800 some odd million.
It's not a bad movie.
No,
it's just shy of Suicide Squad, for God's sake.
No, it's better. Suicide Squad only 750.
I thought internationally they went higher.
Nope.
I thought they were
750
billion. Then that's something to be said, because I don't know really what the big emotion is about this whole thing. Everybody's getting so dramatic and carrying on about it, because it's, from what I've seen, it's all over social media again.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fine. I think, especially
it'll be fine,
because we've always kind of like wondered, like, how would these guys interact? It's like the Marvel thing. When Marvel finally created this universe, it was like, oh my god, we're going to see Captain America with Iron Man and the Hulk and Thor, and now we're getting the same thing with DC. DC's, I mean, admittedly, DC is playing catch up. They're trying to get there in a rapid pace, but now we're going to get to see, like, we've had plenty of good Batman movies. The first Michael Keaton Batman, great. The Christian Bale trilogy, great. We will not talk about the George Clooney Batman.
That was awesome.
But it kind of
put ice on it.
But there's always this kind of like, wouldn't it be so cool if you knew there was more out there than just Batman?
Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze. And now we're going to get a Batman movie that's going to have an impact. Deathstroke is going to be in this as the villain.
That'll be great.
And possibly in Justice League. So it looks like
Freeze.
Okay, if they can get Arnold back, why not?
His own solo movie too.
Yeah. So I think this is going to be a lot of good.
I would love to see Arnold pop in just
for a little bit,
just as a joke. It'd be a great. He'd do it too. He would.
Oh, he would. And the other slice of DC news for movie-wise is the Green Lantern Corps movie, which is 2020, I think, supposed to be out. Just nabbed a writer from Batman Begins.
Yep.
And so it looks like they're really trying to make this Green Lantern movie fantastic, because after how the last Green Lantern movie did, I think they really want to make up for that one.
Okay.
And yeah, that was.
Wait, was there?
No,
or two.
Only one Green Lantern.
Okay, I'm sorry. I keep thinking there was two on that, because it's making it twice as bad in my head. I liked that movie. There was stuff in that movie that I actually liked. I was probably the only one who did.
Green Lantern had bits that worked. I thought that Mark Strong as Sinestro was very greatly cast. But the problem is they went and they changed a whole bunch of stuff they didn't need to. Parallax went to like this cloud of dust and vaguely threatening.
Yeah.
And Parallax is really this giant space demon monster thing. And I don't know when that became a thing, but like making giant villains like clouds of dust and bubbles, like the Fantastic Four did with Galactus.
Giant cloud.
Like, why? Why is this threatening? It's just a giant cloud of dust.
Well, it's getting a little buzz. Here we are. Green Lantern Corps gets screenwriters, and looks like it's going to be David S. Goyer and screenwriter Justin Rhodes.
Oh, Goyer does good work.
To script the upcoming film. Both Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart will be in there. So
which is good, because those are probably the two most well-known Green Lanterns. Jon Stewart, for people of my generation, is known because he was the Green Lantern featured in the Justice League animated series.
Okay.
And Hal Jordan, obviously, being the most famous Green Lantern, because he was technically the first Green Lantern. Really, it was Alan Scott, but with the revised origins of the Green Lantern, it was Hal Jordan. So those are the two biggest names as far as Green Lantern goes, so that makes a lot of sense.
I like Green Lantern. I hope we do good with that one, too.
Oh, yeah, it's
we want all of them to be a success.
It's funny, because DC tends to not go the cosmic route as much as Marvel does, and Green Lantern's one of the few cosmic ones.
Because it's way out there.
Way out, because they police the entire galaxy.
Yeah, the galaxy, yeah. I love that when they had all the Green Lanterns together. I thought it was really cool. I liked it. I don't know. People hated it. I was kind of cool with it, but But I guess I'm on the. But they're making another one.
They are. But it's been at that point 2020. It'll have been 13 years since they touched that.
Long time to go yet.
I think
what's next? What have you got? You got any board games this week or no?
No board games this week.
Behind on board games. We got a stack of them we're looking at right now, actually.
Actually, Kyle wants to bust out Arkham Horror.
We're trying to get Arkham Horror. I got to get that out. And we got El Vecchio, and we got this werewolf one, and we got some other stuff. Oh, my gosh. We got so much to do. And we're going as fast as we can, folks, I promise. So, are you completely out of news there or no?
I actually am.
I can't think of anything.
I have a little bit of a not news, but it's a fun little thing.
What do you got?
Up the Oswego area this April, they're going to be doing Arcon up at the Oswego campus.
Ah, that's right.
And I believe it's the last weekend of April, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I've gone a couple times. There's
Oswego,
lots of
New York.
vendors. There's going to be games, cosplay stuff, all the fun. I will actually be there, and I will be running an event. I'm going to be doing an Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 tournament. Might also bust out Mortal Kombat X for a tournament too.
Great.
But we'll be there, and I'll be covering the whole thing.
What's the date
for all weekend? Last week in April. I'm not sure. I think it's the 28th.
We'll get a link up to that
through the 30th. Yeah, I'll be covering that. Like I said, I've been a couple times in the past. It's always a lot of fun. A lot of good people up there, and it should be tons of fun. You get to meet me in person if you go.
I'll meet you in person,
and I will beat you in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
And I've got a Syracuse Collectorama at the Holiday Inn in Liverpool, New York, near Syracuse, obviously. And that's going to be January 29th, which is a Sunday. I may go to that. I'm not yet sure if I'm going to make that one or not due to scheduling. I had kept my schedule open until probably about March when I start going back to the conventions, and then I'll be on convention tour again, touring all over the place, hopefully most of the Northeast and some other states too. So, I think is that it? We got anything else coming up or no?
I think that's it for me.
We forgot to mention the H.P. Lovecraft story. Did we or not? I don't think we did.
I think we didn't, yeah.
Collapsing Cosmoses was the story of the podcast story from H.P. Lovecraft. We'll have a little link up to that.
Now Cthulhu's going to come after us because we forgot.
Always read your Lovecraft before you go to bed. And read it to the kids. Kids love H.P. Lovecraft.
Oh, yeah.
Great story time stuff.
Not going to scar anyone at all.
In the meantime, we'll be back about a week with another great podcast full of all kinds of exciting games, prizes, toys, comics,
ponies,
inching closer and closer to the Power Rangers release for Tom, who's getting more and more angry about it. But we'll see how that turns out. So we'll cut this one short here, and have a great week. Keep the geek. We'll see ya.
Bye, guys.